I will give you access to this. I think I have like 52 people here. If you don't have access to this, let me know. Let me put the link to the chat. If you don't have access, you let me know. And I'm gonna walk you through this. How do you leverage this? How do you maximize on this? I put more things there for you, because some questions come to me like, okay, if I get that license, how do I learn the job? Many people ask that question. It's a legitimate question, because we are trying to give you something that people learn for 5 years. Because you will see most of the job out there, they will be requiring 5 year experience. So how will you bring that 5 year on the table and convince the recruiter and learn the job? And I can tell you, if you follow what I'm saying, you will do that. Many people have done it. I have people coming from Africa 1 year, they cannot speak English properly. They learn very decent job by following what I'm saying. But the problem is, I can say everything here, but until you make sure that you do it, it will not work. So this SharePoint, this is our team site, okay? The reason why I brought you into this, and I'm paying every month, because I want to give that experience to you. And this is the corporate experience. What I'm showing you here is exactly what you will be getting for most of those big companies out there. They use Team. That means they use what they call Microsoft 360, right? So Microsoft 360 have multiple products. As you can see here, he have all the Outlook for the email, Word, PowerPoint, SharePoint. This is the SharePoint site, and that's what we are working on. It has Excel, OneNote. This is to take notes, for instance, during the meeting. And those are the tools that you must master when you are in the corporate. You have Team and many other things, right? So one of the things that I leverage heavily is the SharePoint site. Why? Because it's like a website, but it's a website that you cannot access if you don't have permission. So it's a closed website. It's not a website that can sit on Google, you just Google it and access, no. So if you don't have a permission, you won't see this website. Your name must be among those 52 people here. Otherwise, let me know, I will add your name, okay? Now, how the website works. So this website, first thing that you will see here is the orientation. So you have the video for orientation. You have the slide for orientation and the syllabus. You have the folder for interview prep class, which is, so let me see that folder that is. So it gives you, I give you like, oh, the whole folder here, man. So you see here, you have many things on this folder. You have even the project management. You have the project management book, is a whole booklet. You have many things in this folder. You have this velocity chart already designed. You have interview question. You have, honestly, you have the list of agency if you are applying for jobs. So you have many things just from that folder alone, okay? And then here you have the interview PSM exam for those who are passing the exam. And here you have, when you see this, if you are working for the exam, some, I don't know if they read it or not, but sometimes they come here, they don't read it, and they see asking me, hey, where do I go to prepare your exam? You have everything here to prepare your exam. Not just I send the link to you in your individual's website, but I have it here on this website for you. When you finish the module 4 already, you can start going through the Scrum Guide, the Agile Manifesto, start simulating your exam using this website. And if you do that, you'll be ready to take the exam. If you are simulating this exam and you are doing 85%, 90%, you will pass your exam. And then this is the real world exam with answer on the question, right? That I put here just to give you an idea of how the text really works. So you have it here, and I try to put the answer on those questions so you can use it. And all that is here. And here you have, like if you are, you can decide to come to G Pro, part one is like, if you want to pay in installment, you have access to all this up to module 4. So you see that module 1, you have the slide, and then you have the video, you have the slide, you have the video, you have the slide, you have the video, you have the slide, you have the video. Now you go now, prep for your exam, pass your exam, come back here, part 2, what happened? You start working on this, because this now is really giving you, like, most of this here, most of the content here is not something that comes to the exam, because it's mainly work-related content, okay? And you have the video on them, the process management, how to estimate the story, metric and KPI, dependency, and safe introduction. So after that, you finish the program, but it doesn't mean that you know anything, because you are combining 5 years of experience in something that you have never done. So it's important for you to learn more. And here, I put down here, agile ceremony. As you can see here, you have sprint planning, the how-to, and that is extremely important. Every ceremony, you have to master them, and I compile all this. I have to watch over 20 videos to pull the best of those videos here, so that you can just go straight and watch them on. So you go into YouTube and be watching video and discovering which one is good. So how to do the planning, this is the how-to. So if it show you how to do the planning, now you take that as your history, your story, and you go and present to the recruiter as if you are the one doing that video. Just tell them exactly what you have learned from this video. He's doing the planning using Jira. So Jira is a tool that you must learn, okay? So how do you run the daily stand-up? And they are doing that by really simulating.
Hey Scummies, welcome to this daily Scrum live demo session.
They are doing the live
Friends,
demo.
we all know that after Scrum Guide 2020.
So I want you to take time. You have to set a goal. Maybe every week you want to have at least maybe one ceremony. You master that from A to Z. You must know exactly how it works. Now, how do you do the review? So what happened? You plan for the sprint. When you finish the planning, every day now you start doing the daily stand-up to track the goal for that sprint, to make sure that you are on track. When you finish the sprint, the last day, what do? You do the review. You bring the stakeholder together, watch this video to see how it works. Bring them together, have the team do the review, have the stakeholder give feedback, have the PO put the feedback into the backlog for next story, for eventual improvement. And then what happened? You have to prepare yourself for retro. You are the one doing the retrospective. So, and you have a live example of retrospective here. How do you do the retrospective? Now, this is not really an agile ceremony, but I put it as an agile part of agile ceremony, but it's a backlog refinement, because you cannot have a sprint if your backlog is not ready. So you want to make sure that you refine the backlog every week with your team. The PO, especially the team, the architect on the team, you have to be working to make sure that you refine the backlog, that you have at least 2 words of sprint ready in your backlog to pull from. And that is the purpose of backlog refinement. And backlog refinement means you are breaking down the story, you are estimating the story, you are clarifying dependency, you are asking questions to stakeholders to clarify certain things, you are raising any risk, if any, you are prioritizing the backlog based on the highest business value. That's what you are doing on this session. Now, I don't stop there. Normally, this is another class that you pay to get, okay? But I try to introduce that to you because I know how the market is challenging. And if you just go out there just because you understand this ceremony, you won't be competitive enough, because market is competitive and you want to be among the best. So you have to have a good knowledge in SAFe. So SAFe is what? SAFe is a scale agile. You are scaling, and remember, we already introduced you already here. So you have some background in how SAFe works. And then when you come here, you have the SAFe event. Those are key events that you must know. And tell me, something when I was working, when I came to this country, I met a lady. When I used to be working, I was working at the World Bank, and I was just a young student. And this lady told me something. He said, Georgette, never shake your head, never say no for anything. If they tell you, do you know how to do this? Always say yes. That was the learning that I got from that lady. That you don't say no, you say yes, and you go and research. And that's what I'm telling you. If they say, oh, do you work in the SAFe? Yeah, I work in the SAFe environment. And then you go and research. Have you used this tool? Yes. You go and research. Don't say no, because when you say no, they are counting you out all the time. Google is there for free. Those YouTube people have put so much work there to give you for free. Why don't you go and search? In 30 minutes, you can become an expert of something. Just be willing to go and search. So you have this SAFe event here. So the key SAFe event is what? This is giving you the overview of SAFe in 5 minutes, right? Give you the overview. So because most company, like if you are working in a big organization like let's say Facebook, IBM, Capital One, those big guys, they have more than 100 different agile teams. They need to scale out their agile, and scaling out the agile, SAFe is one of the framework that scale out agile. So that means the agile are scaled because they are working on multiple value stream, multiple set of business value that they are delivering, and in one time. So they want to organize that into SAFe. So you will have some idea of what SAFe means, and you will have this guy have done a great job explaining how to conduct a PR planning. PR planning is what they call program increment planning. If you say that you are in the SAFe environment, you have to change the language. So instead of saying sprint planning, we talk about PR planning. Of course, you still do your sprint planning, but the sprint planning at that point, they call it iteration planning. So the iteration planning is just the sprint planning, but because you are in the SAFe environment, they call it iteration planning. This daily scrum, they call it daily stand-up. The sprint review, they call it iteration review. The sprint retro, they call it iteration retro. So PR planning is like a quarterly meeting that you are doing, right? With your team, they call it PR planning, which is program increment planning. This guy is going to give you the whole 2 days. Usually it takes 2 to 3 days to do that. So the whole organization stop and keep planning for the next quarter. That means the next 4 or the next 3 months. They plan for the next 3 months. And that's what they call PR planning. And at the end of that PR planning, the end of the PI, at the end of the quarter, which is the PI, they do what they call inspect and adapt. So the inspect and adapt at this point is like all the team participating into that PR planning. We come and do some demo of what they have done. They do the demo and showcase on the system. Remember, multiple teams are working on multiple systems with interconnection. So they will show now how to connect all that system and make it work. And then get feedback from the stakeholder, and now bring that feedback again back to improve the next quarter, just like we do for the sprint review. And at the end, they do what they call problem solving workshop. That means the team will elaborate the problem that they face, and they go through that and try to resolve that problem, right? And then they do the retrospective at the end to do kind of a look back to know, okay, what happened during the last 3 months? What can we improve? What didn't go so well? What went so well that we want to keep doing? And that's how you improve the process. Your job is, you see, this IT now, you see that many people are getting into IT now because most organizations are transitioning into this kind of thing. Before, there was not like that. Before, they were working in silo, they were spending so much money, taking too much time to bring the product to the market. It was making the customer frustrated. Now it's not like that anymore because of agile way of doing things. The competition is making the market very fast, high tech. Things are moving faster. So your job is needed. Your role is if you have that skill, they will ask you. People will be reaching out to you to suggest you to work with them. But you have to build a lot of skill. Trust me. It's not going to be something that you sit there because you know a little bit and then you are comfortable. Every day you need to learn something. So when you finish with this, you have to know tools, okay? Every single thing here, you do that with tools because it's the technology war. You have your team all over the world. How do you manage them? So these are the most common tools, but you have 20 or 30 different tools that you use, but these are the must-have tools that you have to know how to master. Jira is number one. If you are in the Jira environment, remember, you will be the master of the ball. That means you are the one sharing your screen, showing people the ball, moving story all over, split the story, modify the story based on the feedback that the developer are giving, and you are doing that live. You are doing that live. That means maybe 10 people are watching you, or 15 people are watching you online. So just imagine, just picture yourself if you don't know where to go and you don't even know this. You are shaking. What will happen to you? So you don't want that to happen, right? Don't want that to happen. That's why master your Jira tool. We have multiple videos on Jira, but I put this here because from here you can just have one place where you can go and get it, right? The second tool that is must have is Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps tool, and that is why today I will not open Azure DevOps, but I don't know if I can. Maybe I can. If I open, I will show it to you because we have our sprint into Azure DevOps, Azure Ball. And the reason why I put it there is just to show you, to give you that experience on how Azure work. And Azure is not something that will be free like Jira, unfortunately. They are not free. So to have something there, to have access there, you have to pay. I think you can still do some free thing, but I don't know to what extent, but we have just for our class. So I pay for membership just to give us that experience that we need. So this is Azure DevOps, right? This is those active students contributing to the sprint. And this is our ball here. So if I go to the ball, so you have to know how to navigate this. And those videos show you all that. So if I'm going to my ball, I'll go to my ball here. And guess what? From this ball, I can filter based on Epic. You have to understand the hierarchy of the product. Epic is a big body of the work. Then go to issue or feature. Jira gives you a better way of doing that. You see, the same way. So they have this. You see, that's how you do. So you are sharing your screen. You are moving things around. You are updating. You are splitting. If they say, oh, let's say Miss Allet, can you create a new story saying this? You create a new story right away. Can you move this to the backlog? You know where to move it to. Can you move this to done? You know where to move it to. Can you open this story and put the acceptance criteria? You know how to do it. So those are the little things that you want to learn from those videos that I put there. So I'm going to bring back my other screen. So here is the must-have skill tool, Azure DevOps, how to use it for your sprint activity. And then Rally is the third best tools when it comes to project management. And especially when it comes to SAFe, right? If you are in the SAFe environment, most people will prefer Rally, right? If they tell you, because it's like, it is good for enterprise view because you can see multiple teams and different dependencies. So Rally is really good for that. And you have the video for Rally here. And then Microsoft Project. Remember, some companies are still transitioning. They are still using Microsoft Project. And then we ask you, have you ever used Microsoft Project? You have to say yes, never say no. Say yes and come and watch the video. That's how you do it. Well, my challenge to you is, please, if you can, master this video. Like every one of them is very important. Now let's talk about the content management tools. So the first one that we were talking about was the project management tools, right? So these are things to manage our project, like backlog, story, epic, feature. We use these tools, this Jira, Confluence, Azure DevOps, to manage those kind of things, the backlog, right? Now, content management. Remember, even though we are working, we don't need that much documentation, but we still need something. We still need to document something, the process, some kind of business value, some kind of description, we need to document things. So SharePoint is one of the best way to document. Of course, you will have team. You will have your team side. Team side mean what, okay? Team is not just for call. The call is one of the feature of the team, right? You can make a call, video call with your team. You can have a channel, have a channel with your team. Like this could be a team channel, right? But it doesn't stop there. You can store document. You can store document in your team, right? Like this. You can store documentation in your team so that the team can have access to this documentation here. And you can copy the link from this team and link that to your SharePoint. You can link that to your SharePoint so your team have one stop to go and get whatever they want to get, okay? And that is efficiency. I'm telling you, those little skills will bring you, it will take you very far, very, very far. So this is gonna show you how to design a SharePoint page, just like this one, okay? And then Confluence. If you are an Agile shop, that means your organization is using Agile, using Jira, then they are using Confluence, because Jira and Confluence works together. They are from the same company, unless you're doing. So you have to master Confluence. It's not very user-friendly. Okay, so what I was saying is that Confluence is not very user-friendly. It's very hard to use, but you must try it out. Watch the video to see how it goes. Just watch the video, write something down for your story, hold it down, hold it on you, so that when the recruiter asks you, hey, if they are in, let's say, if you have a job and they are saying that they are using Jira, tell them that you are using Jira and Confluence. If they say that they are using Azure DevOps, tell them that you are using SharePoint and Team. So that's how you change. So you have to know how to change the heart in every situation. That's how you win them. Now, another thing is Google Site. I know not many people do use Google Site, but you can also, if your company is using Google Suite, right? That means they're having Google, what do they call it? Google Slide, Google Sheet, Google Doc. They're using Google Drive instead of Team. Maybe they are using Meetup. What do they call it? Google Meet. Then they must be using Google Site. So you have to know. You have to know those little things that Google Site is going to help you to do the content. They play the same role, okay? But they have a different challenges when it comes to learning, but you have the video for that. Now, let's talk about collaborative tools. Remember, you are doing a lot of collaboration. You are designing roadmap. You are doing retrospective. You want a lot of things that you are working in collaboration with your team. So PowerPoint is the simplest way of designing roadmap, right? You have a video for that. You can use Miro, you can use Miro, but I just put PowerPoint. I will be putting more things here for you, okay? So, and Miro is very good when it comes to retrospective. You have your Miro board that you prepare your Miro board, send your Miro board to your team, let them key in whatever they want to key in. You don't want to be there, let them express themselves, and then connect now and share what is on the board. Great tool for retro, and you have an example here for you to refer to. Any questions so far? I've been giving you a lot, actually. It's very quiet today. Are you sure you don't have any question? Muriel. Do you have any question? Nobody?
Georgette, I have to understand something. I know we already done, we have gone also in this agile program. Is it the same we were using before? Or this one is a website different?
Yeah, actually, this is just an additional thing that I'm giving you, okay? But it's the same thing. So I'm just, all what I'm showing you here, I have put some of those videos in the slide, but because I want to make sure that you have it in a very single place, right? Where you can go and refer to. That's why I put all of them here. And I will be adding more here so that you don't get this, so that you don't get all over the place. You just want to go somewhere, go on this side and get it. It's just a way for you to have access to resources, right? So this is just a resource available for you, additionally to the slide that you have. In addition to the slide.
Is it possible to check if I'm already there, or because I want to make sure?
Okay, I will do that, definitely. I will do that. I will open the session for that. So now, so these are few tools, and then we have few video class too that I put here, multiple that I send directly to you, and multiple that are in our YouTube channel. So please go and check it out. The YouTube channel is linked here too. And you see, we have done Jira training. This is one of them, how to filter backlog, how to use the filter in Jira. Kanban, and some Ale was asking question about Kanban and Scrum. This is different between Kanban and Scrum. You see, I saw module 2 and 3 can be here. Okay, and how to use, this is job description, project management and Scrum Master is here. The video, we have done it. We have a day in the life of a project manager versus a Scrum Master. You have a video here on that. Those are very nice video for you to learn. How to calculate velocity. You have a video here for that. And now Azure DevOps CI/CD pipeline. We have a video on that, okay? Introduction or that, Jambo, for those who are using Jambo for retrospective. And for the orientation, you have this video that is showing you the pathway to land a job. You prep for your exam, you pass the exam, you build your resume, you build your LinkedIn profile, you purchase your business case, you master the business case, start applying, go through interview, and then land a job and go through onboarding. So it's a journey. We are here for a journey, okay? Now, and here you have some good things here that I put just to give you some good, good experience that you might not have. For instance, this is an intake form that I use for requirement gathering that I built from scratch for you as well. For instance, if they ask you, as a project manager, how do you, during the initiation phase, how do you collect your requirement? You said, I have an intake form. This is an example of intake form right here, right? That this intake form is giving you what? Look at this. You encourage them, hey, this is to collect that, this survey will take approximately 4 minutes to complete. Please take a few minutes to answer this questionnaire. So let's say that a stakeholder comes to you, they want your team to do something. You send them a form like this, you send them the link. They will, what is the name of the project? They will say, maybe, let's say, migrating 6 database to Azure. It could be the project name. Brief description, you can say, okay, our team is tired of using the on-prem database, on-prem infrastructure. Therefore, we want to have it migrated into the cloud so that we can have a better access, so that we can also manage availability of our database, our data. That could be a description of that request. So who are the principal user, the end user? You want to know their pain point. Okay, the end user is the team, is our team. Maybe, let's say marketing team is the end user. What challenge or experience are they facing, right? What challenges? Because on the on-prem, it takes so long for the data to be loaded, and the data transfer is so costly and slow. Data availability is not the best. That's why we are trying to migrate to cloud. I'm just taking that as an example. Then, okay, what solution are you expecting to have? We want you to build a one VM, like virtual machine, in order for us to migrate all our database into there. Okay, who are the key contacts that we can work with? There's, okay, myself, maybe I'm the department manager, and then give my contact. So now you have the key information there. When are you expecting that to be done, or to be delivered? They will say, yeah, this is something that we want to be done by January 2023. Then anything else that you think that you can add, and they add the comment. They can even attach the document for you. Now, when they submit, guess what? When they submit this, you receive that into a spreadsheet automatically, right? And then you take that to your team. And then you work with your team to start, okay, do you think this is feasible based on our schedule, and what kind of question do we need to ask them? Write it down, and now you organize a meeting so that you bring your technical team so that they can ask them technical questions. Do you see what I just tell you? This little thing that I just tell you now can land you a very high-end job. Trust me, just this little thing on the requirement gathering, because that is the skill they want you to have. And here is what work breakdown structure. You can find yourself, even though you are an agile person, you can find yourself into a waterfall environment. Instead of using Jira, they are using work breakdown structure like this one. I'm exposing you now into project management, waterfall project management, so that you understand both worlds. You cannot understand Agile and perform well in Agile without understanding project management and waterfall. So if they ask you, do you have an experience with waterfall? How will you say? You say yes. Somebody is raising the hand. iPhone. Who is iPhone? Can you try to rename your phone, your name?
Good evening, Mama Georgette. Yes, I will try to rename him later. I just wanted to say that this is exactly the template I'm using right now at work.
This is Guylaine.
Yeah.
Guylaine is an example. Guylaine is one of the students in this class. And Guylaine, can you a little bit, because we have new people here, can you share your experience? How long it took you to get from you getting to the class to get a job, and what were the challenges that you faced?
So I joined the class. Maybe I took time before having my certification. I had it like maybe 1 month later, and I entered the job market, and it was very difficult because when I started, I wasn't applying normally. I was like applying 15 jobs only per day, and I didn't receive any calls. It was very challenging. So I reached out to my manager, said that I'm really disappointed. She told me that, no, I'm not doing the right way. So that's why I was applying minimum 30 or 35 job per day. And I opened my account with DICE, and I was always receiving the calls from India because I got my job through this Indian calls. So I was always, and my challenge was also, receiving this. Unfortunately, we couldn't continue with you. In fact, that was too much. But only persevere, always persevere, always, until one day I got my job, and And after the job now, when I got the job, the challenging was instead after having the job, because now I was, Mama Joe was talking about this. I wasn't, in fact, all what I can say that we really need to pay attention to all what she says, because all what she said is exactly what is going on in the job market. Like when she opened the SharePoint right now, in my job site, our company, we have a SharePoint where we populate everything. And right now, you see, she said the Microsoft, in fact, the Teams, all what you just, these are the tools that we use. And the tool that my team is using right now is Azure DevOps. And before, when I was attending the class, when she was talking about that, I was like, but now, when I land the job now, I realized that the tool that we are using is Azure DevOps. I started going back again on videos, trying to, but everything is not that difficult. But the most difficult thing is to get the job and keep all the challenges you have. But everything is okay. But like right now, in my special case right now, I'm using the waterfall model. I'm like a project manager. That is, my manager expose you to everything: project management, Scrum Master. So right now, I'm working like a project management, and I'm working like a Scrum Master. And like a project management, what the tool we are using now is Excel spreadsheet, and our work is divided into WBS, like what you just said right now. I break down all the work into different WBS, and the tracking tool we use is ADO. And my team, we are not yet agile, so we are still transitioning from waterfall to agile. So that is a brief introduction of what I'm doing right now. Does anyone has any question to me? Don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Gillian. Any question to Gillian? Okay. All right. So this is what we call work breakdown structure, right? This is really waterfall type of thing, type of way. What they are doing here is just what happened that we call epic feature story in Jira. But they will telling, you see how they make it so hard? You see, like this is work, let's say you see delivery one could be like epic. Work item 1.1 could be feature. And all these work item 1.1.1, work item 1.1.2, this can be just story. Just that's simple. Jira have made it too simple, right? Or Azure DevOps, Agile have made it too simple, but more people they don't get it like that. Might make you do 1.1.1.1, 1.1.1.2, all those things. But this is like epic feature story. Epic. So this is the big epic, right? This is one feature. This is the second feature, which is story. This is the third feature. This is the second epic. So if they can give you this and they ask you to build a backlog, and that is exactly, I think I have to give that as a homework, because if you understand this, then you understand the product management. You see how they're breaking down, you can see that it's so complicated. Nothing is complicated. You just take this as an epic. You take this as these features, then the rest are story. This epic, this feature, everything green is epic. Now everything bold is feature. Everything normal are story. You see that that's how it is. But they call it in waterfall term work breakdown structure. And you have it linked here for you. Another thing that I link here for you is the project cost management plan. Why I linked it? Because I just want you to be acquainted with those kind of things and the data, okay? KPI, those metrics. You have to be comfortable. Don't see that and feel like, oh, this is too complicated. Nothing is complicated. You will see, this is showing actually this. It's showing, it doesn't, you will see that it's just the same thing showing in the different ways, right? So this table is just showing things in the different ways. And then you call it dashboard, right? So this is the dashboard. Resource costs. Here they are actually emphasizing on the resource cost, but here they're emphasizing on the software and hardware, right? So it's just the same way of showing the same thing. here are resources. You see how they can break it down for you. So you have it here, okay? It's just for you to get acquaintance, right? Multi-project timeline. Let me see what I have here. So this is like a roadmap. We talk about roadmap. So I will even make it roadmap because this is a roadmap, right? And this roadmap is taking, you see, project, and then you see roadmap based on time. This is like, okay, we'll be working on this in this date, working on this in this date. This is what we call roadmap. So we have an example here for you. I will be putting more things here for you, okay? Now, things to do during the first week at your job. Okay, for those who landed a job, they have things here to do for themselves, right? That's what I said. It's not, we are not training you for you to land a job and then we abandon you. You can see Gillian, she always come. Other people, they've been coming and now they've been in the job for more than a year. They don't need us really. But sometimes they give me, I always on the call with them and say, hey, they will tell me, oh, I'm facing this issue, or I want to become a senior in my position. What do I do? Or they just introduce me to this project. Where do I go? What tool do I use? Things like that. So I'm always there to assist, to give them some recommendation. So this is a family that we are building. It's not something that, okay, you come and then you get what, maybe your certification and you go. Yes, $1,000 is really technically a job for your certification, but really, this is not for certification. This is for more. This is for love that you are building, a career that you want to build. So now, strive to excel as a professional, right? You want to commit yourself to develop more skill. Don't be obsolete. Don't be, let's say some people learn the role as a Scrum Master and they are not doing more and they are happy, they don't improve their skill. No, I always tell my students, don't stop there. If you finish the Scrum, why don't you do PMP? Why don't you do SAFe? You see that most of the students who came through me, they have multiple certifications because I always encourage them. You don't want to be at the bottom. The bottom is too crowded. You want to be at the top. So, and that's why we have all these daily Scrum templates. What do we have here? Okay. So this, for instance, you see, this is something that I made just to give you how the velocity works and all that. How do you track? You see, this is an example of tracker. How I track PTO, and I show you an example where you can track, right? So if you have a team of 10 people, during every day, if you can track, oh, this guy didn't show up, because they will call you and say, hey, let's say Miss Arlette or Miss Blending, and this guy, how long have him not been coming to the meeting? And if you didn't pay attention, you will be the one that will get fired. And I tell you, it happened to me once. They hired this guy and that guy missed a meeting maybe twice that week. I didn't really pay attention, but usually I like to track. So I just put like no show, just like randomly. But I didn't know that the management was tracking him. And randomly they call me and say, hey, so guy, how many times have you attended the meeting? Have you attended the meeting this week? I didn't know that it was serious. Before you know, they sent the communication out and said, so person is no longer with us. They fired the guy like that. It was a DevOps person. So what am I saying? Like from my feedback, that means they investigated like that for multiple other things. But when they came to me, I didn't know what they were asking for. I just told them that, okay, this is my tracker. This is how I track. And they made their decision the way they want to make. I'm just doing my work. So, but imagine that, or somebody raised a point and you have multiple people, you will forget. So you want to make a note. Like let's say developer A is John. Maybe John needs assistance or something. So you want to come back to John and say, John, how can I help you on this? So these are the tools that I'm putting there for you. This is a lot of value if you know how to use it. And this is to help you to understand the velocity calculation because it can be confusing. Trust me, it is confusing sometimes, but I try to make it here and break it down for you. And you have a course for that. Metric and KPI, you will have that velocity and this is gonna come and complete that. So use it, okay? And All right. So this is really what I have for you. Like, you know, we have a YouTube channel. I know I have not been. I think this is the YouTube channel. Yep. So most of the video that we have here is hidden. That's why I put the link in the website, because it's not like open to the public. Very few are open to the public. So yep. And we have a Slack channel. Let me see if I can open that. Oop. My Slack channel is taking me back. So I know this can be overwhelming as material, but it's also a blessing for you, because trust me, many people will not. You can see many classes out there, but you won't see people committed that much to put that many resources for you. This is because I understand the challenge. I've been through the challenge, and I know how the value of every single thing that I put here for you. If you know how to use it, you can come and thank me. Trust me, because it will help you a great deal. So this is what I have for tonight, unless you have something else, but this is what I want.